Hello everyone, and welcome to Winter Moon Games Tabletop Reviews. My name is Chris, and today I'm bringing you Forks by Radical 8 Games. Not to be confused with the game Spoons, which is originally what I thought this might be a spin-off. You know, that popular Spoons game where you pass cards on the table and you all frantically try to grab a spoon before everybody else gets one. I think playing that game with Forks might make things a lot more difficult and may end up someone in the emergency room. Thankfully, that's not the case. Forks is referring to an old chess term based on a designer who actually talked about this, who used to play a lot of chess and now teaches chess. He talks about how forks is a type of attack in chess that basically makes your opponent have to choose one piece to lose over another and kind of the lesser of two evils. That's essentially what you're doing in this game. At the start of the game, there's going to be cards in the middle of the table that make up the different companies in the game. The first player will then start by drawing 3 cards from the deck, and they're going to keep one in their hand, also known as embezzling. They are then going to take the other 2 cards from their hand and pass them to the player to their left. That player will then have to also choose one to keep in their hand, or embezzle, and then add one to invest. When you invest, that player puts it on the table with the other company cards. The goal of the game is relatively simple. You want to basically collect different sets of companies, get the most of those companies. You want to try and build up the middle market to have the top 3 companies. Each card has a value in the upper left-hand corner. It's going to add to that company's value. And so at the end of the round, once all the cards from the deck are gone, you're going to actually calculate the top 3 companies and the lowest 2 in that middle of the table. Each player is then going to do the same for the cards in their hand, and they're going to write down their maximum points for the top 3 companies in their hand. You then repeat this process for the next 2 rounds. At the end of 3 rounds, the game is over and the player with the most points wins. After the first round of Forks that I played with a group of 4, we had a pretty good grasp of the game. I think turns are supposed to go quickly, but when you're learning this game, your turns tend to go on a little bit longer until you've grasped what you're supposed to do. Now, the copy I played was a promotional copy, so I don't think all the rules were final and maybe need to be tweaked a little bit to kind of make things a little bit more clear. Thematically, the game is a little bit dry. It's not something that's going to really excite you. Financial theme, I mean, some people really love that, and it is very easy to play. It's not one of these games you're going to have to think too much about. So it's really not about the theme, I suppose, with Forks. It's about just kind of getting in there, playing a quick game and having some fun with your friends and really just kind of sticking it to them as you pass them cards. I think that the designer could have had a little more fun, make the logos and the companies a little bit more tongue-in-cheek. I would have liked to see some more outlandish, artwork with the logos, maybe something a little more cartoony. I find that the logo on the box is actually the most intriguing artwork in the game. You have just a person's hands and a necktie, and it says Forks on it. And you really don't know what this game is about. It gives you a really intriguing vibe, and you want to pick it up and read about it. I think financial games just really aren't my thing. I think that there's definitely an audience that will enjoy this game. And for what it is, Forks is going to get 3 out of 5 moons from Winter Moon Games Tabletop Reviews. There are some really interesting and useful mechanics in Forks. I really liked the fact that you take a card and you're able to pass it around. You then know what your opponent has or what the next player is going to have. And so each turn, players are going to be getting cards and having to make a choice. And I like that. It kind of makes it so you have to take the lesser of 2 evils. So as you're investing, cards into the middle of the table, you may be actually growing someone else's embezzlement hand and helping them out in the long run. So like I said, Forks, the card game, is coming to Kickstarter this May. Please check it out. You can go to radical8games.com. That's the number 8. So I don't have much to say about Forks other than that. Thanks so much for watching another episode of Winter Moon Games Tabletop Reviews. For more Winter Moon Games reviews, you can visit wintermoongames.com/reviews. Find Winter Moon Games on your social media platform of choice. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you want to ask me a question about Forks, or you have a game you'd like me to review or preview for your Kickstarter, please send me an email at cb@wintermoongames.com. Please like this video and subscribe to the Winter Moon Games channel. It really helps me out a lot. And if you want to help me get to do this full time and improve these videos more and more, please consider supporting Winter Moon Games on Patreon. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.